Right, here's part 2 of my summer hunting 2023. Here's the month of June $5,000 quarter hunt 2023. What did we find? Okay, if you've been following me and saw my last video for the quarter hunt in July, this will be the quarter hunt for June. Similar circumstances, I searched approximately $9,000 worth of quarters here. To give you an idea of how much coin I go through each month, this receipt is from June 9th, and it looks like I did $1,000 in halves and nearly $3,000 in dollar coins. June 25th, $2,000 in quarters, $200 in nickels, another $280 in dollar coins. And then June 29th, it looks like I did another $1,000 bag of quarters, another $500 bag of halves, and another $1,500 in dollar coins. You might have noticed a 2-week gap in those receipts. That's because I had to take some time off. My brother Jerry passed away in June. Rest in peace, brother. We'll see you on the other side. Okay, now that I removed the coins from the bags, I'm going to sort them, stack them, and we'll take it from there. We've got lots of different things here: half dollars, dollars, nickels. We got quarters, dimes, just an assortment of different coins from June, basically. We're going to call this the June hunt. And yes, I do quarters a lot. I go for quarters first, looking for those West Points. I'm holding out hope that they can still retain some value. But it seems like I need to get those on eBay ASAP because I see the prices dropping, or perhaps I just need to wait until the fall. Anyway, see you in one. All right, I just removed all the coins from the Ziploc baggies, and so now this is just the month of June. So in June, I did dollar coins. I found a couple Eisenhowers while out in coin roll hunting. Trust me, I looked for half dollars. I couldn't find half dollars, anything worth keeping. I found more of these, which drives me nuts. There's somebody here in Michigan that takes snippers, and he snips the half dollars. That's his coin marker. These jam up the coin counting machines. I cannot take those back to my dump bank because it stops the machine and they get mad, and I don't like to wear out my welcome, so I have to pull those all the time. I literally found over a roll of them this month, which is low compared to what I did before when I was searching halves heavily. I literally had an entire box of these snipped coins after like 3 or 4 months of searching half dollars heavily, and I pulled all those aside. Anyhow, enough of the public service announcement. Don't cut your coins. You can go to jail for that. It's against the law. It's destruction of government property. All right, so focusing on quarters still, and I've got a lot here. So this video is going to just focus on quarters, and I'm going to do nickel and a dime video. These are all my June nickels and my July nickels. These are all my June dimes and my July dimes. So those are 2 separate videos, and then I will do a video for the half dollar and dollar coins that I found in the month of June. And then these are, being close to Detroit, People mover tokens. These are the same size as a nickel, basically. So I get these in nickel rolls, and sometimes I get them in the dustbins at my return bank or the Coinstars. So I just wanted to put that out there for you. We'll see you with the separation of the quarters. I've seen a couple silvers in there, and I'm sure there's got to be at least 1 or 2 W's in there, and some air. So we'll see what we got. I'll be back in 1, 2. Okay, so we've got them rounded up and sorted out. The deep dive is next. Before I go there, I just wanted to show you where we're at. These are Canadian coins, which I pull, and because I don't know how I get them, but the banks give me grief whenever I bring them back, and I like to save the commemorative Canadian quarters just like the U.S. state quarters, but the general circulation quarters will get returned through a friend at work. I did pull 6 silver quarters this month of June. These are all the Betsy Colemans. This was the first 2023 quarter to come out, so basically I pulled all those because there were developments on whether or not there were die chip errors and things like that, so I'm going to go through those and sort them out. The 2021 George Washington crossing the Delaware has errors. I only pulled, for some reason, I only have 1. I must have been weeding them out as I went. And then in 2022, we had the Maya Angelou Sally Ride, Nina Ontario Warren, Wilma Mankiller, and the Anna May Wong. To date, I haven't found any errors on the Anna May Wongs. There's plenty of errors to look for on the Wilma Mankiller. Clash dies, die chips, Drooling George on the obverse. I've never found any errors on the Nina Ontario. I did find in the month of July a Sally Ride die clash, and I never found any of the doubled earrings on Maya Angelou. As far as older coins with errors or proofs, and there's a foreigner, I did pull a couple cameos, some more of the planchet, defective planchets, a Balboa quarter, and then for 2019-2020, of course I pulled aside better condition copies of P and D, and I did pull 3 W's, and I will reveal which 3 I did get in the follow-up here, and then basically pulling better condition coins from other years, including the 60s and 80s. And then, as usual, you always have to pull the junk out because, like I said in my July video, they jam up the machine. All right, here we go. 1944. Got some constitutional silver for you. 1952, 1961, 1963, 1963, 1964. The 44 is a Philadelphia mint. The 52, Denver. The 61, Denver. The first 63 is a Denver. A Philadelphia 63 and a 64 is also Philadelphia. All right, what you're looking at here next are the edges of the coins that I saved from the 60s and 80s. This first one is a 1982, 83, which can be worth up to $30 in MS65, and an 86 could be worth about $5 in MS6365. This is an overview of the 10 that I kept. So I posted a snapshot of the Red Book price guide from the years 1977 through the mid-90s here. MS6365. Pause the video anytime you want to check that out. What you want to do is check out the prices on the 82, 83, and 85 Washington quarters. Here are the only 3 West Point quarters I pulled this month. The 2020 has a smudge of dirt on it. The 2019s look a little circulated. It's what you would expect after being in circulation for 2 years without being discovered. And so now I found them and pulled them out of circulation. Okay, so here's what we got. The American Memorial Park 2019. That's the good one. The San Antonio Missions 2019. And the National Park American Samoa Bat Quarter 2020. I think having just found 3 West Points in the month of June, finding an American Memorial Park makes it okay. They are getting harder and harder to find, but that doesn't mean I'm going to stop looking. Okay, you can stop and pause the screen at any time to look at the prices here. I just give you a snippet of some West Point sold on eBay. In addition to the 2020 W West Point quarters, I pull some of the better condition 2020s. These 2 are Marsh Billing Rockefeller. This is the Weir Farm, which is in really nice condition. And 2 of the National Park Bat quarters, American Samoa. And I find it comical that some people, I've seen debates online on Facebook coin collecting sites, asking the question, why is this quarter upside down? Or, the fact is that the bats hang upside down and the child bat or the baby bat is in its pouch. So yes, I'll have to admit, I was fooled by this the first time I seen one, and it does feel weird, but yes, the coin is not upside down. That's the way it was minted. These Salt River Bay have, let's see if I can get this without losing my focus. There are some die chips up around in the leaves over here, just below the A. And so I've been pulling, you can see the die chip clearly there. It's all bubbled up. I've pulled several of those. Seem to be pretty common around here in Michigan. And then I believe we have what's considered double die on the lettering "In God We Trust." All right, I flipped those 2020s over and take a look at the obverse. The 2 Rockefellers were Denver minted, and you can see the condition here and why I'm keeping them. They're a little bit grainy, but they lack dings and dents and scratches. This P minted, I think it was Weir Farm. It's a little bit dirty on this side, but still in fairly good condition. The 2 Bat quarters, or the Samoa National Park quarters, display lots of mint luster. This one's a little bit dingy. So we were talking about the "In God We Trust" on the Salt River Bay, and I guess you can see it. It's not really clear, but you can see the thickness in the O and the D, kind of indicative of the thickness or the double. This one displays a lot of struck through grease. It almost looks like one of those "In God We Rust" errors. The 2 2019s that I did keep outside of the West Point is the American Memorial Park and a River of No Return. They're in pretty good shape. There's a little bit of a scratch above the boat on the reverse here. These are both Philadelphia mint. Let me flip these over and show you the obverse. All right, here's the obverse images. The American Memorial looks a little smudged, but not scratched or dinged. The River of No Return is in pretty good shape, so I'll probably keep both of these. All right, I wanted to show you the Canadian quarters that I did pull. Well, I pull all the Canadian quarters because I can't return them. And this one's especially nice. I like this commemorative. 1892 to 2017, the Stanley Cup 125. We're all too familiar with the Stanley Cup here in Detroit. The Red Wings went on a pretty good run in the like multiple. I think they three-peated back in the 90s or the 2000s. I had to check it out. The Red Wings won 11 Stanley Cup championships back-to-back in 97, 98. And then, you know, obviously hockey is big in Canada, and so there's been plenty of Olympic commemorative coins put together. I'm not sure what this one is commemorating. And then this one. I don't know enough about the Canadian coins. I'm not a big collector, but since I'm in Detroit, we do get a lot of Canadian quarters. And so I do collect the commemoratives, and I plan on putting a book together of those. And then the rest of these are just regular circulated Canadian quarters. As you may know, the 68 was the transition year, and they had 50% silver in 68. So you got to check that. Using a magnet is usually a good way to tell, and then I guess you could weigh them. But before I throw that one back or spend it at McDonald's, I'll check it out and make sure it's not silver. All right, the women history quarters didn't really produce much. I'll probably keep the best copy of each of these and then add them to my stack, and then at some point I will go through those stacks and only keep the best of. I did, however, on the Wilma Mankiller, I found 2 of the Clash dies. So there is a little bit of a disturbance below her hair at the shoulder and between the letters I and L. And then on the obverse, there is her hairline is transferred into the flat surface behind George Washington. Here. For more information on the die clash on Wilma Mankiller, check out this video I put together 8 months ago, which goes in detail and explains the phenomena. Okay, here's a close-up of the die clashing on the obverse behind George Washington's ear. That was coin 1 and coin 2. Coin 1, you could see 2 lines. Here's the reverse, where there's a line below her hair, next to her shoulder, and between the letters I and L. And then these two have a die chip on the star, there, and there. Here are the 2 stills of the die chip on the star, coin 1 and 2. And this one has the die chip in her hairline. Let's see. I will give you an image of this, a still photo of it that shows the die chip in the hair better. It's a glob of metal between hair strands just below the letters ED. Along with the die chip on the stars here, I'll take some stills and freeze that frame for you, along with the die clashing on these 2 behind the ear. So you can automatically see that. That's pretty obvious. The line right below his earlobe, and there's a smaller one just below the end. So that's a dead giveaway on the die clashing. So yeah, you can kind of see a disturbance on the flat surface between I and L, and that is actually George Washington's eyelid. Not as obvious on this one, but it is, you know, the camera's just not doing it justice. Okay, I think I spent enough time on that one. So in regard to the George Washington crossing the Delaware 2021 Philadelphia Minute Quarter, I have found so many of the die chips on his tricon, or the top of his cap. This one has the small die chip at the rear. I did not find any full crowns. As you know, here in Michigan, we're finding the full crown primarily. We find 90% of all crowns that have been listed on eBay came out of Michigan. And that's a fact. We were very blessed to get that. Right? There's another smaller crown that looks like a beanie coming out of Alabama, and they got a bunch of those there. But this is the only George Washington crossing the Delaware that I kept because I got so many. Lots of die chips, and also the die clash in front of his face. Also like the nape of George Washington's neck on the obverse, transferred through on the reverse die. And it looked like he's blowing a bubble, or he's got like a face mask on, or shield. Perfect for COVID. Yep, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. All right, on to the next. Okay, let's talk about Betsy Coleman, 2023 Philadelphia. Here are 5 of the die chip on the wing. This is a still photo from the internet showing the design, how it's supposed to look. This is one of the 5, and you can see the glob on the tip of the wing between the first 2 uprights on the right side of the plane. And they're all similar in size. These are not the largest die chip, but they're pretty consistent in that area. And I thought it'd be worth giving you a look at this. Here is a listing that sold for $295 on eBay recently. Three of these are the FG doubling. This is a still shot of my coins. This one shifted to the right. The first one was to the left, and this one's to the left. And then I shared a eBay sold listing here to show you that they're selling for around $350. And this is the split nose. So the tip of Betsy Coleman's nose has a ding in it, or a dent, if you will. And as you can see, that got a $3.99 free shipping. All right, next, this is a coin that I had also a similar coin like this in July's video report. There's a little bit of the weakening or thinning on the backside as well. Here's a couple examples from eBay sold listings: $40, $69, $79, $99, and $8.95. Just 3 examples of the range of prices. Then there's this Balboa quarter, 2001 Balboa from the Republic of Panama. All right, boys and girls, that concludes the June quarter hunt video. And this is my partner site on eBay, where you could find some of the coins that you've seen here, as well as other coins that I found during my coin roll hunting adventures. Check me out at JDK Collectibles. Also, I have a Facebook page called Mojo Coin Roll Hunting, and if you want to share your stories or pictures, go there. Also, give me 4 clicks, hit that bell, hit that like button, and subscribe for more notifications. Also, comment and share. I don't get enough comments or shares. It would be really nice if you guys can give me some feedback on whether you like what I'm doing or not. Thanks for coming this time. Coin Mojo out. See you on the rebound.